A ruling from a Texas judge that Delta Airlines, not the FAA, caused a deadly plane crash in 1985, which took more than 100 lives. A Denver company had a lot to do with the ruling, and as Dave Minchell tells us, a new system at Stapleton may help prevent similar crashes.
Delta Flight 191 went down trying to land at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport on a stormy summer afternoon in 1985. 137 people died when the plane hit short of the runway.
60. Localize range, right smoke again.
This computer animation of the last minutes of the flight of the L-1011 was made for the FAA by an Aurora company called Z-Axis. The tape helped convince the judge the flight crew caused this crash by ignoring tower advisories about thunderstorms near the field. Final approach. The gear comes down. Heading into the thunderstorm, the crew sees lightning in the darkening skies.
Lightning coming out of that one. What? Lightning coming out of that one.
The crew flies into the heart of the storm, not knowing it holds deadly downdrafts. Warning, the cockpit recording contains profanity. 900 feet above the runway, descending, the plane hits rain.
Way up. Way up. Way up. That's it.
The plane's caught in the downdraft. Computer voices shout a warning. Toga, take off, go around. But it's too late.
These pictures actually made? How do they actually come about?
It's a complicated system. This airplane had a very complex data recorder that actually showed where the plane was in the air, whether it was going forward or backward, how it was turning. They also looked at radar that was taken at the time. They plug it into some very sophisticated machines, plug that into a computer model of the airplane, and there they have it. It's very high-tech, cutting-edge stuff.
The Delta 191 case broke ground in many areas. It was the most extensive use of graphics in the courtroom. Z-Axis developed over 50 minutes worth of graphics, and for a variety of experts, the avionics expert as well as the meteorological expert and the cockpit resource management expert, among others. It was all new for everybody, the lawyers, the expert witnesses, as well as Z-Axis, in developing the procedures and the techniques that are now available for anyone's use. The 6 years or so that Z-Axis has been in existence has given our blend of engineers, artists, and producers an experience base of being able to, one, take engineering data and talk to engineers, talk to experts, technical experts, understand their problems. If it happens to be trees or a space station, or an automobile accident, or assembly process. They're able to understand the information, the nature of the information, and be able to take that, translate it, and develop displays and presentations. In other words, we're able to take data and convert it to information.
Z-Axis is a presentation company. We specialize in how to tell a story. We specialize in how to present material visually. This varies a lot from expert firms, which are often now getting into computer graphics and have problems telling their story. They don't have problems creating computer graphics. They can do a very nice job doing graphics. However, they have a problem in understanding the visual needs of presentation, the timings of presentation, the details of how you present, how you select appropriate points of view to tell a particular story, how you select the timings, whether you have to speed things up or slow things down in order to communicate best what a particular storyline is.
Basically, what we're trying to do is to take these complex dynamic situations and make them understandable for a lay judge and jury. You're talking to people like the rest of us who are generally exposed for the first time to some very technical issues. And so the idea is to teach them some basics and then put that in context of the actual situation. That's the story.
Whenever a complex event takes place, which may entail a number of things happening simultaneously, it may entail something that takes place over a long period of time or in a very short instant in time, it's very difficult to convey to a judge and a jury what really took place, particularly if time has a bearing upon it. If something took place in such a short instant, for example, reaction time in a car crash, you can present the precise amount of time very accurately. There's a wide variety of applications that fall under the category of conducive to computer graphic simulation. There are a number of video techniques which can be used to enhance the computer simulations. You can do things such as split screens where you have multiple viewpoints of the same event at the same time. You can use titles and put legends and titles and descriptions on screen so to aid the viewer to understand what he's looking at. And third, you can add audio. In addition, you can highlight various parts of the screen.
Basically, when you use our graphics and you're watching it on video, it's like looking into a window at a three-dimensional space, a universe that Z-axis is creating. And once we have our three-dimensional space and the objects in that space built, we can then move those objects around. That is what the simulation is doing, and we move it at 30 pictures a second to create motion. Now, the third part of that is getting back to your viewpoint. We can change your point of view, your window into that three-dimensional space. We can put you behind the wheel, we can put you on the road, we can put you up in the sky, we can put you anywhere, or we can move you and the three-dimensional space around. So that's a lot to work with.
The real power of visual presentation is the process by which we are able to interpret analytical data and bring judge and jury to the scene and actually show accurately what occurred. We work with both the legal team in helping develop their strategy as well as the expert firm in interpreting the analytical data there.
When a lawyer has retained an expert witness or is ready to retain an expert witness, we like to come on as part of that team where we can work with the expert witness in terms of understanding his or her data and working closely and developing the presentation of the expert. Our position is we are illustrating the testimony of the expert witness.
What I am able to do at Z-axis is to do two things. One is to get very professional, polished images that grab the viewer's attention and transmit information very effectively. The second thing I can do is I can get very professional guidance and ideas about how you could improve those images. What could you change? What information could you add? Is there too much information we're trying to depict in this image? And all of that helps focus the viewer's attention on the important details. On one hand, there's a technology to build almost any image you can conceive of. And on the other hand, there's the expertise to take the ideas and the graphic depictions that the expert puts together and turn those into visuals that grab the viewer very strongly and transmit the information to the viewer that you want to transmit. One of the largest problems with presenting weather information in a courtroom is that there is such a diverse set of information that it's hard to talk about it all. You have weather balloons going up and you have traces of temperature, and that tells you something about turbulence. You have flight reports from airplanes, pilot reports from airplanes. How do you put that together? You have weather radar. You have all sorts of different types of information, each on its own medium. The important benefit you get from the computer technology and display technology at Z-axis is you can put all of these different types of displays and information into one medium, one format, and display it in one spot.
Lightning coming out of that one. What? Lightning coming out of that one. Go ahead.
One of the things that I hear an awful lot from people is that it's got to be expensive. And I try to relate to people it can be the most cost-effective thing you've ever done in your life if it's used properly. We're not in the business of making pictures with a lot of pizzazz. We're in the business of making pictures that tell a story and do it accurately. And if that's done effectively, it will not only be admitted to court, but it will tell a convincing story to your client's benefit.
Admissibility has been a sensitive issue. However, in recent years, courts have been much more conducive to accepting this type of evidence, particularly as demonstrative evidence.
And I think we always will be on the cutting edge of the use of the technology. It's not sufficient just to have computers and to have hardware and software. It is important to have people as well. And our people have developed their expertise and the techniques over a long period of time. And they are best at the use of the technology. And so is Z-axis.
We presented a lot of information. We hope we've answered some of your questions. And remember, when you have a story to tell, let Z-axis help you tell it.